Okay, let's dive in. Today we're looking at a book that seems pretty straightforward. Michael Faraday's The Chemical History of a Candle.
Right, a real cornerstone text for science popularization.
And you, our listeners, sent over some really interesting sources about it, which, well, it got us curious about one specific thing.
This detail that crops up, or rather, doesn't crop up in Japan.
Exactly. Why is a lecture on platinum, which you often find in the English versions, missing from many, maybe most, of the popular Japanese translations? That's our mission today.
It's a neat little mystery. But first, maybe a quick word on Faraday.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So, Michael Faraday, massive figure in 19th century science. Think electrochemistry, electromagnetism, huge experimentalist.
And crucially, a brilliant communicator.
Mm.
He wanted everyone, especially young people, to grasp science. Those Christmas lectures at the Royal Institution were legendary.
And the chemical history of a candle came directly out of those, didn't it? Using, just a burning candle to unpack these fundamental laws of nature.
Absolutely. Simple, elegant, and that's why it got translated and read all over the world. Hugely popular in Japan for generations.
Okay, classic book, famous scientist. So back to the puzzle. Why is that platinum lecture often AWOL in the Japanese editions?
Well, let's look at the book's structure first. The main part, the core, is 6 lectures Faraday gave. The sort of prototype was back in 1848, but the famous series was 1860 to 61.
Right, the Christmas lectures for that season. And then William Crookes, the editor, compiled them.
Exactly. He first put them in his journal, Chemical News, then pulled them together as a book.
And here's the key bit, right? The platinum lecture.
Yes. The very first English book edition, March 1861, published by Griffin Bond & Co. It included a lecture on platinum. Off of the title even said, to which is added a lecture on platinum.
To which is added. That phrasing is telling.
It is. And the first U.S. edition, same year, also had it.
But, and this seems crucial, that platinum lecture wasn't actually part of the 1860-61 candle series.
Correct. Faraday gave that platinum talk separately. It was February 22nd, 1861, also at the Royal Institution, but it was a standalone lecture, not one of the 6 Christmas lectures on the candle.
So Crookes, the editor, deliberately bundled it in, maybe to add value, show more of Faraday's work.
Probably something like that. More content, maybe showcasing Faraday's work with metals too.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an addition supplementary.
Okay, now let's switch over to Japan. The book's been huge there for ages, right? Multiple translations, big publishers like Iwanami Bunko, Karakawa Bunko.
Decades of readership, different translators like Yajima, Takuchi, Mitsuishi. It's a standard text.
And the pattern you find is?
They consistently leave out the platinum lecture. You look at tables of contents like Takuchi's 2010 Iwanami edition explicitly notes its omission, and it's just not there in many others.
Okay, so why? What's the thinking there?
Well, the main reason seems pretty clear. The subject matter is different. The platinum lecture is all about, well, platinum, its properties, history, metallurgy.
Which is quite a shift from the physics and chemistry of a burning candle flame.
Exactly. It breaks the thematic unity of those original 6 lectures. Remember, it was Crookes' edition, not part of Faraday's self-contained series.
So maybe the Japanese translators were aiming for a kind of pure version, closer to Faraday's original lecture series structure.
That seems very likely. Plus, consider the audience. The candle lectures were specifically for young people, the platinum one. For the general members of the Royal Institution, a slightly different pitch, perhaps a different level.
Ah, interesting. So keeping it focused on the candle maintains a consistent tone and maybe accessibility for the intended readership in Japan, often students or people new to science.
Right. Leaving out the platinum bit keeps the narrative tightly focused on the chemical history of a candle. No detours into metallurgy. It arguably makes for a cleaner educational arc.
So over time, this consistent choice in Japan has sort of created its own standard version of the book.
Pretty much. A distinct Japanese version that prioritizes those core candle lectures, reflecting maybe cultural choices about its primary educational role. It contrasts with the English tradition, where Crookes' fuller, edited version often became the default.
Okay, so let's recap. The Platinum Lecture, an editorial add-on by William Crookes to the first English book editions.
Yep, not part of the original 6 candle talks.
And in Japan, mainstream translations have consistently omitted it.
Right, and the main driver seems to be a deliberate choice translation, editorial to keep the book tightly focused on the candle, preserving the coherence of Faraday's original lecture series. It aligns with how the book is viewed there, as this core foundational science text.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how a text gets shaped and perceived differently across cultures.
Those editorial decisions really impact what we think of as the complete or standard version of a work.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other familiar books might have these kinds of hidden variations floating around in different languages or editions? Something to think about.